Welcome back to Canceled Weekly. We're still here. Our enemies have not succeeded yet. I'm Mickey Gall. That's Candice Horbatch. That's the truth, Gerard Michaels. And today on Canceled Weekly, we have maternity leave opinions. We're talking socialism. We're talking veganism. We got some cute stuff. But first, this is the mood all 2024.
I wake up in the morning, I look myself at the mirror, I say, I'm handsome, I am blessed. Victor is highly favored. He's cute enough. He's just blessed. I don't care if you're gonna tell me I'm smart. I already know I'm smart. I'm smart, I don't need anybody's opinion. Me, I'm blessed. And it's truth. It's the facts that rely on the Bible. I don't need anyone's opinion. So title does not matter. What matters is in me.
My heart.
This kid's plagiarizing what I say in the mirror every day. What the heck?
Oh my gosh. Right. We all need a little Victor in our life.
Hell yeah.
Somebody bully that cocky motherfucker.
Let's go into 2024 with all of that energy. Yes, little
Amen,
dude.
sister.
Yes.
He reminds me of that guy, thank you for sunshine. Thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
rain.
I love that one too.
Thank
yeah.
you for, is it the same guy?
I don't know. I've never
you for
seen.
joy.
I've only heard
Thank
the
you
song.
for pain. It's a beautiful day. How old do you think Victor is there?
Victor's like
8.
So do you think
I
that's now? Do you think those are things that Victor has? Those are things that Victor has come to of his own volition, or do you think these are things that Victor has been
I think
taught
Victor's been
and he's
watching.
reciting?
He's been watching the motivational channels on YouTube.
Is
and
that
Tony
what it is?
Robbins.
Yeah.
He's got the whole collection.
Yeah, he's rocking and rolling.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
I do affirmations with my oldest every night.
Do you?
Yeah,
What are
I
they?
do. I look at it. So we do like this thing where I put my little forehead on his forehead, and I say, "You are loved. You are love. You are light. You are good enough, and you are perfect just the way you are." And I know that last one's probably gonna be triggering for people, but he is 4, and that is the truth.
I'm mad at it.
Affirmations. I go back and forth on affirmations. I know some people really like them. I think the process behind them is very, very important. I think meditation, prayer. I'm jealous of people that can meditate and jealous of people that pray and feel like their prayers are heard. I've never once done it and thought like, yeah, someone's listening.
Gerard, you're gonna make me cry. That's so sad. Really?
Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah. Like you sit there. The few times in my adult life where I've gotten on my knees and prayed, I felt like a moron. Like, what am I doing? Who am I talking to?
No, we're gonna have to have a moment later.
Why don't we have a moment right now?
No,
Let's do it right now on the
because it'll
show.
take up like the whole episode. I mean that is so.
So it's a really short clip. Hit him.
It's just so sad to me because I feel like every time that I like pray or because it is essentially like prayer and meditation are very similar. Yeah, I feel like every time I'm heard.
By an entity?
So then you have to ask, what is God? But like, why do you feel like, why don't you feel heard? Like, are there other places that you don't feel heard?
I feel like I'm talking to nothing. If anything, it feels like a moment of weakness. Or
You've
anything.
never
Like,
felt God. You've never experienced a moment and you were like, this is a miracle, or like like a moment of unity, a moment of oneness, a moment of transcending ego, a moment of you're looking at perfection. Like, and I think parents have a great opportunity for this because like when you see especially a brand new baby, you're like, whoa. Like to deny something else, like to deny something greater, something that this is like an intelligent design seems crazy to me. Like I don't understand how you could be a parent and not believe in God or not believe in something bigger.
I'm not an atheist. I've never experienced it. I'm open-minded to it. I'd love it. I would love to have that feeling, that knowledge, that purpose, but I just ain't there. I don't know. Has it been different for you?
Yeah, I don't feel like how you feel. I was feeling like nobody cares about me.
Yeah.
No,
Nobody-
that's not what I'm saying
Nobody
at all.
wants
Is that what
me.
it sounds
Nobody
like? That's not what I'm
listens to me.
saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not. No, I want to be very clear. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's like,
I would.
I'd
say that
you
maybe,
do sound a little atheist.
maybe like you're not being vulnerable enough. Like you're not being open enough to the idea. that it's going to be felt or that it matters. Like maybe that's part
Gerard,
of it.
you matter.
You matter.
Gerard,
The
Gerard,
We
you're perfect.
hear
Wait,
you. Oh
Gerard,
my God.
your life. Gerard, your love.
You are love.
You are love.
Thank you.
Gerard lives matter.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's I don't take it away from anybody that does. To me, it just don't. I'm speaking to an empty room, man. There's nothing there.
Yes,
it's-
there is.
Okay, I
You
hope
think you're
you're
just
right.
alone in
Okay,
this
well then let me put it this way then. All right, if you're right, okay, and if the Christians are right and the Muslims are right and the Jewish and everybody is right, and then the only way to get this entity on your side is to be on your knees.
No,
and
no, 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 no.
Be subservient.
I don't agree with that.
Then you know
I
what?
don't agree with that stuff.
I don't know.
No.
I'd love to get on my knees, but it's hard for me to get back up. So
And-
I'm just being serious, and this has nothing to do with nobody's listening to me. I sit there and pray, and immediately feel like, have you ever done anything and immediately been like, this is stupid, this is
Sure.
dumb, what am I doing? There you go. This is dumb. What am I doing?
See,
and
and
especially
I-
if I'm
gotta-
asking for things. People who ask for things too, they're like, God, I could really use a new car. It's like, man, get a new car, dude.
Well,
Like-
that's in what's his name from Outwitting the Devil,
Yes.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
And it's the energy that you use when you're praying. And he says that so many people do it wrong because they pray in a moment of crisis. So you're there and you're in this moment of lack, need, take. And,
desperate.
and you're almost kind of perpetuating the thing that you don't want. So you have to come to it with gratitude, love, appreciation. Your cup is full.
I'll get even spicier. I think Napoleon Hill's a hack.
No.
Hack.
No.
Why do you think that?
Well, we listen to Napoleon Hill.
Which one?
We
I-
listen to
I've-
Outwitting the Devil, and
Yeah.
what was
You
the
listen
other
to
one?
Outwitting the Devil and
Think
you
and
didn't
Grow
like it?
Rich and
and
Outwitting
Grow
the
Rich,
Devil.
Outwitting
No,
the Devil.
I didn't. Gerard's speaking for himself.
I'm speaking for me, not him.
You need to listen to it, and then we'll get your feedback next
He
time.
did.
We did. I did.
Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I thought
Do
it
you
was
think
good.
he's a hack?
I don't.
Why do you think he's a hack?
Manipulative, playing to a certain audience. It was so myopic and playing to such a low common denominator.
What does myopic mean?
Narrowed focus, like overly simplistic.
It was myopic. But look, so Napoleon Hill was hired by Andrew Carnegie to go around the richest and the most wealthy, the most successful people of that era, and to learn commonalities through all of them, to be able to put that into a book. Right. He commissioned him to write this book to then spread the knowledge that it takes people all these years to learn, that they kind of stumble upon, or maybe they had a good mentor or something like that. That book's called Think and Grow Rich. It is kind of about how could I simplify Think and Grow Rich? I'm sure Don's gonna put something down here about it, but it's a book about kind of manifesting things, like the law of attraction, kind of putting your brain on something, believing it, feeling it, even when you don't have it. You almost you put yourself there and you can feel it. And for whatever reason, the universe has ways of connecting those dots, let's say. Those things that, the thing that you're trying to reach will help you kind of connect to those. I thought Think and Grow Rich was a powerful book. I recommend it. I think there's definitely something to be gained from there. I never read The Secret, but I think it's kind of the same idea. And Outwitting the Devil kind of shows the pitfalls. I think it examines more the pitfalls that he's saying is put there by the devil, as it's in that book. It's him interviewing the devil, and it's all the pitfalls and the problems that people fall into, men fall into, women fall into, and how to kind of circumvent that, avoid it, so that you can have a successful life. I don't think he's a hack. I think it's a noble thing that they're doing. I think there's something to be gained by both of those books.
Okay. I guess. Look, if you've never heard it, maybe it's a kind of a situation where it's like Citizen Kane, right? Like if you watch Citizen Kane through today's eyes, it's a horrible movie. It's terrible, but It was the first of its kind. It was inventing the genre as it went along. It invented special effects, basically. So if you look at it through that perspective, then yeah, it's very impressive. And I suppose with Napoleon Hill in that perspective, if he was one of the first people that was doing this kind of prophet preaching and this kind of idea of motivational narrative, fictional narrative, right? Then sure, then it's great. But I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. And every sales job you've ever had in your world is always sent, do this, watch this, do this, watch this. And it's just like, all right, I get it. I really need to think about
maybe they're
prosperity.
hacky, not him.
Yeah. I think, what's the other one? The one I do like, what was it, Bartleby the Scrivener?
I don't know that one.
The one where they do, I might be conflating two of them, but there's one where it's a short story about, it's like an award show from hell. And, they're giving out awards for like the best demons and like who did the best work, and they use it as a takedown of like modern society, and it's like I made people go away from their family and go towards lustful and selfish ideals, and so they're giving out awards for these demons that made people run astray or so. And the other one that's kind of good is Rogan just made it famous again, but it was famous for a long time. What was the guy's name? Ed something, who did the if I wanted to ruin America, if I were the devil, that whole thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That
I think I sent that clip to our group.
Yeah,
maybe we'll cover that.
Very powerful. I don't know. I personally, I guess I just have I have almost an immune response to like manipulation. I don't like feeling manipulated.
You're also admittedly cynical.
Yeah, I am. For sure. But I also feel, I am. No doubt about it. Maybe it's good for you. Not everything's for everyone.
Right. But I feel like sometimes the cynicism, you can keep yourself. It's almost like I find a lot of cynical people are smart, and they almost feel like they're like too smart for things, and they will write shit off quickly, which I don't think is the right move at all. Rather than like almost like examine what can I get out of this? And maybe you either lack a belief or a connection with either, talking about praying with God or just with these other things that you can't, just because you can't see it or maybe feel it doesn't mean you can't see it more or feel it more if you were to kind of go down that road. Yeah, maybe you sit on your knees and feel like this is fucking stupid, but if you try anything for the first time, you might feel like if you shoot a basketball and you never shot basketball before, be like, this is hard. I could just walk away. Or you could keep shooting and keep trying and develop work that muscle.
I'll defend myself here.
Please.
I never have once said because I don't feel the presence of God, God doesn't exist. It's one of the things I hate about Sam Harris, the narcissism of I've never seen him, so it must not be real. Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe it's my attempts are wrong. Whatever it is. Just because I don't feel the presence of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I've never once said that, and I would never say that. That being said, I do remain unconvinced.
Of God?
I'd like to believe there's one. I personally feel there's probably, if there's a God, if there are gods, they care about us the same way we care about ants. That's I kind of feel. I don't think the gods or the God or the gods give a shit about our.
Do you ever see what an ant looks like up close?
Oh, yeah.
Like an ant's face?
Pretty wild.
They're creepy.
I wouldn't give a shit about them either. I'm about to stomp a hole.
Look, man.
Mess of them.
People are gonna get real angry about this. They always do. I'm not saying anything. I hope you're right. I legitimately hope I'm wrong.
Fuck them, because first of all, no one said you said God doesn't exist. Me nor Candice didn't say that. So you were like, let me defend myself.
Well, I'm not an atheist. You're saying I'm an atheist.
I never said you're an atheist. I just said maybe you do lack connection or belief, which doesn't mean. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you're an atheist. That just means you're not sure. And, I think I think it's hard to say emphatically 100% this God is real and it's this. I don't feel that way either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's something, kind of more personal. I think there's shades of gray with everybody for that. Because unless, you, like you said, unless you saw something for sure, you can't 100% say. That's why it's like one of those like faith. That's why it's a faith thing.
Do you pray?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Do you get down on your knees and pray?
No, I don't get down on my knees. I'll be like laying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do it.
And you have a conversation and you feel like there's someone there?
Or
Or are you just hopeful that you
No,
put it out in the universe?
I'm putting it. Yeah, I'm putting it out in the universe, and I do. I don't think it's like a someone. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of, that's the thing, is like it's all. It's kind of not so super tangible because it's not something you could like touch or see or you know what I mean? It's almost like a feel thing, and sometimes maybe you feel it more, sometimes you feel it less.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pray every night. As a kid, I used to. It was like, but it was almost like taking a vitamin. It was like ritual almost. Where it was like I gotta do this. You know what I mean? And I grew up kind of like very like going to church every Saturday or Sunday, and it was the most boring hour of my week. You know what I mean? I didn't very much enjoy it, but I did have more of a connection with God. I strayed a little bit. I questioned a lot. I was like, well, this and that, you know what I mean? And I'm at a point where I'm trying to get back to that, because like you said, like I do envy people who have that strong belief, I do want that personally, but I'm not a black belt, you know what I mean? I'm not a black belt in religion or in my relationship with God at all, but it is something that I aspire to be better at and that I am working towards.
Yeah, and I'd like your opinion on this too, but I guess too, I find a certain, again, forgive my cynicism, but I do find a certain,
I do every day, buddy.
like like an eye-rolling disdain for people who pray and use prayer as a lottery ticket.
Sure.
I really hope I get blah blah blah, and I really hope blah blah blah, and then hey, make sure you pray for me in there too. Oh, I hope blah 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 gets blah blah blah. Okay.
Do you pray for specific things, Candice?
I guess you could call it prayer. Yeah. So like manifestation practices, and we've talked about it in the past with, like sex magic and things like
Hell
that.
yeah.
I feel like
That would have got my
that's
attention.
I've
As a
been
teenager.
working my
Way
sex
more.
magic. I've
prayer.
been working my sex magic.
But the way that I've been taught to do it, it's not like a super selfish thing. It's we are in concert with God. God wants feedback. Like, what do you want? But it has to also have an element of contribution. It's not like, give me $10,000. It's how am I best to, like, how can you best use me? What
Call
like
to
to
service.
Right. So like, what is the most good that I can do, and present that to me, like present those opportunities to me. So it has this like giving back and pay it forward element to it. So yes, like I'm going to benefit from this, but in my benefiting of it, it is also uplifting other people. So it's kind of like capitalism in that sense, right? It's for everybody. And then the idea is that because there's that element of contribution, that all of a sudden, like the universe or God is like, now this is a game worth playing. It's very boring for you to ask for a car. It's very boring for you to ask for that raise. But if you're like, how can I be of service to the most people, and kind of leave it vague, and then all of a sudden the next day you're meeting all of these people that you watch their shows.
Yeah.
Like, how are you sitting next to me on this plane? How is it, right? It's I don't believe in coincidences. So when I do these practices, pretty immediately after, some really cool stuff happens. I don't know what's going to come of it. I have no idea because I didn't ask for anything specific, but I don't know.
I do it a little different. I'll like ask for, like I'll ask for like, strength, or I'll like for something, or I'll ask for, not specific. Like, you know what I mean? Or maybe, or even if maybe, I'm going to correct myself. Maybe if there is something, I got something going on, I'll ask for like strength for this, or I'll ask for wisdom. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, make me do like nail this perfectly. You know what I mean? I also keep it a little vague, but I'll ask for allow allow me to be my best self, or allow me to be blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I do think it's almost like, it might be a little bit of a cop out, but that I'm at least putting it in the universe. You know what I mean? I'm at least being more cognizant of it myself. It's me, it is that repetition, and it is kind of like that Napoleon Hill stuff. And I try and like to sit there and I'll feel it. Like I'll think about myself being my best self, allowing like my talents to shine, allowing, feeling strong in moments where, things could be difficult and different things like that. And I think there's something to be said for it.
Well, there's that Christian saying too. I forget, it's in the Bible. I want to say it's in Proverbs, but it says, let me see if I can find it. It's, it is about manifestation, and it's kind of like, as you say, things happen. If you knock on a door, they will open, that kind of thing.
You know, one of our first conversations, I remember we were talking about Think and Grow Rich, and I remember you being like, "Don't you feel? Do you think?" I was like, "Do you think that?" You said, "Do you think manifestation is kind of repackaged prayer,
It's rebranded prayer.
rebranded prayer?"
Yeah, like people talk about the law of attraction and meditation and we talked about it in our last episode, but there's been such a concerted effort to get away from the kind of like Judeo-Christian aspect of things.
So
like,
why do you think these things have been around and are still around?
It's a great question.
I think because there's probably something to it. Whether it's prayer and you're praying to God, or whether you're manifesting, putting in the universe consciously or unconsciously.
I found it.
I think there's something to be said for that.
It's in Matthew 7 and in Corinthians, and it's mentioned. So it's a whole bunch of things, but I know there's mentions throughout the whole thing, and I mean a lot of religions do this as well. So it sounds kooky and like woo woo and new age, but it's kind of been around since the dawn of time. Reap and you sow what you reap what you sow. All of these ideas, basically, what you put out, you get back.
What is your interpretation of God? Do you think it's like a humanoid
No.
that's answering? Like what are you talking to when you're doing this? Who do you think is listening?
I
Or
think
what?
I actually agree. For me, it's like it's a feeling. It's a vibration. It's almost like a consciousness.
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. And it could be kind of heavy, and that's when you kind of like me and Kim will do it together sometimes, and I feel like almost like you're putting two brains on it as one, kind of similarly to the sex magic like you talked about. You know what I mean? There is kind of like it's hard to describe, man. You should fuck around with it though. You should
Where there
give
are
it a
two
shot
or
a little
more,
bit.
I'm present. That's
push.
also in the Bible.
And like maybe like push through it. Like even when you like go to laugh at yourself and roll your eyes at yourself, try and like, and meditation, bro. Meditation's kind of is way easier than you're making it sound. You know what I mean? Just sit there and try and be a little still, and you can get yourself into a little state. I recommend guided meditations, and it's even better if like you actually have like a person doing it for you. It could be fantastic. But or there's a million, you just Google
Like the
guided
Wim Hof
meditation.
stuff, the Wim Hof
No,
Nah.
that's breath work.
breath work.
Yeah, like where they're just like, now breathe. You know what I mean? Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. They do stuff like that, and then they could be talking about something. Imagine yourself in the space and different shit like that, and it could give
We
it a
would
try.
do hot yoga together, and like hot yoga would end, and then they'd start in on like the appreciate yourself for what you just been through, and like everybody's like, and I enjoying laying down, doing the breathing, and I'm like, all right,
That's where his cynicism is.
Time to
reached,
wrap it up.
He's like the light in me respects the light in you.
thinks
He's
that-
like, don't talk about my light.
I think at one point I might have in my brain, I'm struggling so much from the hot yoga that I thought I was saying it in my mind, and I think I said it out loud. I was like, okay.
I think that happens. I think I heard
Okay.
a ugh or
Yeah.
two.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. All right. Here we go. Appreciate you for. All right.
The light in me
It's a workout.
honors the light in you.
Ah.
Yo, but we were just talking about that before. We're gonna bring Candice to yoga joint one of these
Nice.
times she comes down. But look,
It's a hell of a workout.
when it's not only is it a good workout, you sweat so much. I'm like swimming basically on my mat. You know what I mean? And then I come out of there with so much peace. Like I lay on the mat right after, like just in peace, man. It was like yoga was a drug, and those teachers were my drug dealers. I was going like 5 times a week. I'd sit in the car in the parking lot, just sitting there. Like normally I'm boom, 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 gotta move, gotta go, type A shit. After yoga, I'm tranquilo, brother.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry at the end of yoga.
You're angry at the end of yoga?
I'm so angry.
What the fuck, dude? Look, we got a bunch of business ventures together. Canceled Weekly being one of them.
The yin and the yang.
I can't have your heart explode.
I'm gonna be.
You got to take care of yourself.
Bro.
Don't be getting. If you're getting angry at yoga, I
thrive
seen you in the
chaos.
car.
I thrive in chaos.
That's what you
I
said.
You're
enjoy it.
surviving in chaos.
Huh?
You're surviving in
I
chaos.
thrive.
Get him, Candice.
I'm thriving, baby.
Get him.
I thrive in chaos. Yeah. I don't know, man. They're again. I don't knock it. I'm not one of these guys like, oh, that's for a bunch of bitches. I don't know, dude. If you feel centered, God bless.
That reminds me.
Good for you. I don't have that. I don't have that third eye.
The other day I was in the
You do.
gym.
It's probably calcified.
Yeah, because all that dairy you're eating.
Your toothpaste, your tap water.
Yeah.
No wonder.
I was
Shut
I
off.
don't know what reminded me of this, but oh yeah, we were like you were like acting like you were gonna shit on it, but I was going to Ong. I was like, kicking's gay.
Chicken?
Kicking,
Oh,
like in the
kicking.
gym, like bro, throwing kicks is gay.
This guy might be the hardest kicker in the world.
I'm like
no. Pound for pound, might throw the hardest kicks in the world.
Yeah.
You?
Ong La, no,
Ong La.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going up to him like,
I was
kicken's
like,
gay.
Kicking's gay, dude. I'm like, and then even like I'm like, bro, just fucking just throw hands.
Throw a punch
You know
like a
what I mean?
man.
And then,
like a
and
man.
it's like, I was even obviously I'm known as a jiu-jitsu guy. Ground like that ground stuff. That's all gay. So just fight like a man.
Throw
with your
hands.
freaking hands.
Man. You don't want to give it. How
It
about
is
all
kinda
ones and
funny.
twos?
It is kind of funny just to come be like, it's gay. Just
Yeah.
call anything gay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I remember. I remember like Connor for like a second tried, I think, to play a little bit of mental warfare with Khabib and like, well, we're not gonna wrestle fuck each other in the middle of the ring for 3 minutes. No, I'm gonna knock your face off. And Khabib's like, no, I'm gonna wrestle fuck you.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrestle the
fuck you.
piss
I'm
out of
gonna
you.
wrestle fuck you, bud.
Yeah.
It's
Just
gotta be a
ride the
tough
piss
time.
out of you.
It's gotta be a rough ride.
Oh, speaking of rough rides, after some rough rides, you might get pregnant. After
Oh.
you get pregnant, you might need a maternity leave.
That's a transition right there.
How much national paid maternity leave do U.S. mothers receive?
I should know it.
I think it's maybe 4 weeks or something silly like that. No idea. 3 months, maybe.
I think it's 2 months.
6 weeks. 2 weeks.
3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Is it like 6 weeks? And don't they call it disability leave?
Zero.
Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Catchy song.
0. Oh, okay. Good.
The answer is
That's
zero,
very sad because
Zero.
Maternity
but not.
is
That's not everywhere, is it?
In the U.S.,
for humanity.
0.
Well,
All right. Well,
0 national paid leave.
so, all right. So zero national paid leave. Now I know I have.
Wait, you gotta wait till their end. It
Being
shows this.
mandated is a different question. We don't have enough time for that one.
I know Canada have a lot.
14 weeks?
Right here,
What
wait
does
till
that
well, you can't see it. It's hard to see, but it's listing all of these Western and like modern first world countries and how much time that they give people. It's shameful.
Yeah, I think in So I know my cousin Caitlin just had a baby, and then my other cousin Ashley, my cousin's wife, she just had a baby. She was in Massachusetts, and she had some sort of better benefits than Caitlin received in New Jersey. I don't know what that is. If it's maybe that you got like an extra 6 weeks off of paid leave or something like that.
It's probably from the company.
I'm pretty sure it was state.
there's state legislation on that. There is.
Well, I just became privy to that recently. I don't
California
know
has
what
longer than others do.
and Massachusetts has a better one than Jersey, from what I
The quote unquote more progressive states tend to.
correct.
No, you said it's shameful. Why do you think it's shameful?
Because we have social nets for everything else, and then the one thing that is required to continue the
Human race.
existence of a country, we're saying there's no social net for that, none at all.
Where should it come? Where should that money come out of?
All of the taxes that we pay.
Yeah.
Where's
stop
that
giving
going?
It to Ukraine.
How about we put some
That-
term limits? How about we ask ourselves, why are you getting paid $250,000 to not do your job and represent your constituents? Why don't we say that? So it's not like we don't have the money. Exactly foreign aid. Why are we spending billions? Oopsie daisy. It wasn't like we overpaid by $1 billion
there's
or something like that, and we're like, oops, accounting error.
Literally.
So don't tell me we don't have it.
Hundreds of billions of dollars are unaccounted for. The Pentagon has failed its last 3 or 4 audits.
We talk
it's almost
about
a joke
student
now.
debt relief. That is nothing compared to raising a child.
How much does it cost? Did somebody tell me it was $100,000 to have a baby now? Medical costs. It's like $100,000.
That's not true.
It's not
That's
true. How
false.
much is it?
My first one was in the 30s, like 37,000, but he was in the NICU, so that was why it was pricey. I think my second one was about 20. And
Now,
that
are you
was
talking about just the birth at the end, or are you talking
about
about the whole
20? I think
process?
it was about $20,000 for me for
All
just the birth.
So all in.
All in Okay, yeah, all in, it's probably in the 50s, I would
50s.
guess, in North Carolina.
So, like, what do you have to do? You have to take out a loan to pay back the...
When you check out, they give you loan paperwork.
Do they really?
Yeah.
We're getting into, like, a situation between, like, theoretical and, like, practical application. Like, theoretically, I don't think the government should be doing anything of this. It shouldn't be the government's thing.
Oh my gosh, yes it is. What responsibility does the government have if it's not to protect its people and safeguard the continuation of its existence? You don't have kids, you don't have a country.
Mm-hmm. That should fall upon the household, right? I mean, that's the idea. Like, why should again, this is a theoretical thing, but, like, you know,
should your job be held?
Should your job be held? It's a very tough one. Also, should the employer be responsible to pay you leave while they have to hire somebody else to
I didn't
fill
say
your...
that they had to pay. I said that they had to hold your job.
Yeah, I don't have the answers to this, and I haven't thought it out well enough to give definite answers. I don't think we should be disincentivizing. I also don't think that we should be creating a profit incentive for people to be pregnant for 10 straight years.
Well, you put guardrails on anything, just like everything else.
I don't want people to think that they have to incur a lifetime of debt to bring a child into the world, and I don't want women to be seen as a liability in the workforce, that if I hire you, and this is true. Some of the most progressive companies in the world advocate for abortion because it's less expensive than losing the employee. Mm-hmm. Like, some of these companies will fly you to, and I'm sure you're aware of this, and they'll say that it's, you know, about women's rights, but really what it is about keeping their workforce intact.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, big companies, big companies will like pay for you to go get an abortion vacation and then come back and not miss a beat. So let me ask you then. I don't have the answers. How would you like to see it done, Candice?
If all of these other countries have figured it out, I believe that we can. I do think America is the greatest country in the world. And I think we innovate, and we innovate when we have problems. And I think it is a problem that we have, like, abysmal birth rates, right? There's the birth gap that's happening everywhere, including in the United States. We say, what are we doing? You see countries like Hungary that are actually incentivizing women to have children, where if you have, I think it's 3 or more kids, you never have to pay taxes again. So it is a really real problem that we're just ignoring because we say we don't have the money. Meanwhile, we're spending billions of dollars on foreign aid, and we have so much red tape for every single thing that we try to get passed. There was like that $1 million toilet in San Francisco. I forget the term for it, but there's this thing that is just normal practice when you're trying to get something pushed through. You're like, well, if you're going to do that, then what's in it for me? And you kind of just, like, my father-in-law was explaining, and I can't remember the term for it, but you're basically just like layering on all of these additional costs and you're like, what was the original thing that we were trying to push through in the first place? Because now there's
pork. You're doing.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, that's the way government works now. It's gross.
But we can do it, is the point. And to just say, we're not going to do it, it's going to cost too much money, where's the money coming from? There's a lot of money that's being misused right now. So how about it comes from that?
Generations worth of money being misused.
How about it comes from that?
Would much rather that money go back to the citizens. But if the money's not going to go back to the citizens, it should definitely go to subsidize life instead of death. That much I couldn't agree with you more on.
We printed money for 2 straight years. For what?
Yeah,
and you can't give it to moms?
That's a completely different argument, but yeah.
I'm saying the money is there when they want it to be there.
I think the money is so mismanaged, and there's so much bullshit and bureaucracy and fucking stealing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up corruption.
I mean? Straight up corruption.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know what the answer is to this. I think this, having maternity leave, women having children should be something that's, protected, taken care of, and I want to say finance more.
We have disability checks.
It should. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think 100% it should be something.
This is part of the problem with the whole polarization of the last 10 years of our culture and our political discourse, because this is theoretically something I can absolutely get behind, but the type of people that advocate for this turn me off so much that I'm just like, I don't really care. And I should care. I really should. But the pink hats and all these people, and it's just like, you've lied, manipulated, bullied. even if this is something that I can get behind, this is something where you can advocate for, where I can be like, yeah, no, you know what, you have a point here. I have to almost like remove myself from it from a perspective of like, I don't want to give these people an inch on anything. They're just,
It should be bipartisan, though. It's like you take care of people that need it, right? And you just went through a very traumatic experience, which is giving birth. It takes you time. Like, you're bleeding for 6 to 8 weeks after. You can't pick up anything heavier than your baby, or you can hemorrhage and die. Like, so if you're going to give disability because someone is overweight and can't work, then why is the mom who just literally birthed a new human being that's going to continue on the species, why is she not entitled to the same thing?
If you were empress for a day, you were imperator.
I need a crown.
Yes. How would you like to see it go? What do you think is the right amount? What
3
do you think?
months. I think 3 months.
3 months.
Minimum.
Minimum.
So is
Minimum.
that like sandwiched around? Is that like the last like 2 weeks, or is that 3 months after you give birth?
After you give birth.
Oh, good question. So what happens in the last
Yeah, what happens in the
trimester? Are you
last-
working up until? I think it's probably
it depends on your job. I know a lot of women that work up until they give birth, and they want to.
They want
Yeah,
to.
maybe
Yeah,
they
they
stop
want
like
to.
a week before it, like their due date or something like that. Maybe
Usually, the employer will encourage you to because they don't want you to give birth, and it's probably an insurance liability.
Has
They
your
don't
water
want-
broken yet?
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you
Please
give
don't let
birth,
your water
they
bill-
don't. They don't.
because if someone slips on the
Well,
on the
no,
pickle
like something
juice.
happens to you or the baby, right? And
know,
then that
okay.
happened on premise, then that's a risk that they don't want to take. And then there's a whole conversation that's going on with NICU babies. And I don't know if you guys saw what's going on with Kite Baby. So Kite Baby is a really popular baby clothing company.
She's Jewish, so she could say that.
Oh my God.
Kite with a T.
Oh,
Yes.
Mickey.
Yes.
Anyways, one of their employees was adopting a baby. Like, they were going through IVF, it failed. They got approved to adopt this baby. Well, the baby ended up being super early and had to go to the NICU. And I mean, like itty bitty baby. So the now adopted mom was like, I need to take time off. I have to go to the NICU to go be with this baby.
NICU is natal intensive care.
Yeah, and anyone that is a NICU
Unit.
parent, my first was in the NICU. It is your worst nightmare. It is your worst nightmare, and you're sitting there and you don't know if you're going to leave with a baby.
Yeah.
And that's devastating. Like, and then to have to worry about the bills that are coming, and it is not cheap. And then your employer says, well, she goes, they go, you can have 2 weeks, and she goes, okay, well, how about I do my job remote? Like, I promise I will get all my work done. Like, she wasn't compromising on her effort. They go, actually, never mind. You can either be here the whole time or you can quit. So then, out of ego, revoked the 2 weeks. So she made a video, and all of these mamas are online uniting and showing their NICU babies. And I'll have to show you guys my oldest when we're done recording. It is like, shame on you. You are supposed to kind of be the pinnacle example of family and values, and take government out of it. Take what is supposed to be there. If you're a baby company and you're supposed to be supporting families when your employee needs it,
Yep.
you show up.
Sure.
Figure it out. And all of the bad press that they got is not worth what they would have paid this woman to be there with her baby.
For sure. Separation anxiety too is 90 days enough for you to then put the baby. Also, who watches the baby? The baby will die if you leave the baby alone. It's not like it's not a hamster.
They're gonna have to find childcare. Yeah.
Start paying for that too. What do you guys think about like free healthcare and all that stuff? I feel like that's something. Speaking of maternity leave, that's something where the money should be going to. For you to have some unfortunate shit happen to you, like you break your leg or you get fucked up somehow, and then you gotta you might need to come thousands of dollars out of pocket. Like, I feel like that, I feel like there's got to be a better way there where you're, you could be in the hospital fighting for your life, and now you're coming out of pocket tremendously.
Yeah, or God forbid your family member fought for their life and everybody chipped in to try to save them, and it wasn't enough, and now multiple members of the family are entered into a generational debt spiral. It's not right. It's not right. We got to get rid of the term free healthcare. That's a lie in and of itself. It's subsidized healthcare. And again, if
So does that mean like the government paying for
yeah,
it?
because there's nothing free. Like nobody's dumping a bedpan for free.
No, of course.
No, I get that you know it, but a lot of times that word free healthcare gets thrown around.
If people are doing it for free, you're not going to have the best people doing it. You still want doctors to be paid well so that the best people aspire to be a doctor.
Correct.
Because it's a prestigious job where they make a lot of money and have a good livelihood.
Dude, I haven't been to the doctor in a decade. I would love for there to be some sort of more reasonably affordable healthcare and even the healthcare that I have, not have to go to one place for them to give me a permission slip to go to another place that, so now it takes, and they do it on purpose because they want to disincentivize you from going there, right? They want to, so.
Yeah, or people be in the hospital and then their insurance people are coming in trying to move them along.
Yeah, and I worked in the pharmaceutical industry.
Because I don't want to pay for it. They don't want to pay for it anymore.
Horrible. And it is horrible. And it's corrupt to its core, and there's no doubt about it, and it needs to be fixed. It's just such a thing that like the corruption, the rot is so deep. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a bug, it's a feature. They double bill on purpose because they know that some people will be like, "Oh my God, I gotta pay."
Check it.
They literally double. Like this is part. I mean,
I remember you telling me that when LJ's dad had passed.
Double bill all the time.
That was something we had to keep.
They'll build the estate, then they'll build the next of kin, and then when they're like, "Hey, I think I've already paid this," they'll be like, "Oh, okay,
oh, our bad."
No, yeah, and they'll send like threatening letters. They'll threaten the shit out you, and then like you said, your dad's dead. And you're in a place of like, what's going on? And it's like, okay, I'll just write this out of the estate. Fine. What it has to do, what we really, I think, probably have to do is it has to be bifurcated. We have to do two things. There has to be some sort of like subsidized healthcare. There has to be like no different than public schools. Anybody can go to these anytime they want. And then if you want independent, individual healthcare, right? Then there are these private hospitals that you can go to and all this other stuff, kind of like the NHS and all that other crap, right? Now, people always say, well, that's not right because that means that rich people will have better care than poor people, to which I say, let's fix that problem once we fix the other problem, right? Let's give access first, and then let's worry about the quality of the access next.
Yeah.
Right now, let's just get people, and again, this goes back to what you said, Candice, any argument, especially from the libertarian side, that we can't afford it, it's nonsensical after these last 4 or 5 years. It's nonsensical. They've spent so much money in killing people that if we took 1/10 of it into saving people, how many lives could have benefited? I mean, if we took 1/10 of the amount of money that we spent on COVID lockdowns, on the war in Ukraine, on Israel, trillions and trillions of dollars. Don't even get me started on Iraq and Afghanistan, the $9 trillion. How many people could have been saved with $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Put into cleaning the water supply, put into...
You guys think they could cure cancer and they just suppress that? Because it's a billion-dollar industry? I think probably so.
I put it this way: they know they have these full body suits that like you can move around like they're almost spandex and they're like completely bulletproof, and you can give one of those to like every single infantryman, but they're like $280,000 each. So guess who don't get the bulletproof bodysuit? So could we have like an army of nanobots that would go through your bloodstream and attack the tumor and blow it up into a million different pieces and not have to do chemotherapy and radiation and all these other things?
Yeah, but chemo and all that shit, someone's making money off that. Someone powerful.
I don't know.
Gotta get money out of politics and money out of all this shit.
I'm not a doctor, but I do not trust the science. Yeah. So I am 100% sure that they have medical advancements that we are not privy to.
I would agree with that.
That I'm 100% sure.
Well, Gerard, I'm going to make your government hate boner grow even more. Let's talk a little socialism, huh?
Ugh. We just gave the most like pro-socialist argument that anybody's ever going to get on this show.
Free healthcare, yeah.
Lenin said that socialism was a transition phase between capitalism and communism. So you got capitalism empowers the individual, I point out there's two kinds of capitalism. There's this globalist, George Soros, West bad, wants a one-world government. But the individual capitalism, where you get to earn a living and make stuff and sell it, that empowers the individual. So capitalism empowers the individual. Socialism is this transition phase to take it all away until finally the government owns it all and you own nothing.
How is it that these people are embracing
Deconstruction. It's a sales technique. If I was a toothpaste salesman, the first thing I would do is say negative things about the toothpaste you're currently using. You're still using that old stuff? Don't you know it'll eat the enamel off your teeth? You're like, oh, really? You're repulsed by it. Now I have you into a neutral. You're open-minded. What are all the toothpastes out there? Then I give you my pitch for this tartar-controlled breast freshener stuff. So you separated people from their past, get them into a neutral where they don't remember where they came from, and then you brainwash them into the future you have planned for them.
Whoa.
All right, G, I got a question for you to start off. Give me the differences between socialism and communism.
Socialism is the economic engine behind communism, right? So, like, these are semantic terms. The Communist Manifesto is the government, the governance that would, this idea of equitable ownership, to each their necessity, from each their capacity. The idea that there is no ruling class. If she's got 3 kids, she gets her food plus her kids' 3 food because humans, food is a human right. She gets housing. Socialism is the economic engine behind that. Socialism is the application of communism, right? Like in America, we have a free market republic, right? And the free market function should be capitalism. What we have is really corporatism. But like he said, you use socialism to get to communism. That's kind of it's the economic engine versus the government. Does that kind of understand? I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible without getting too deep into it. Socialism is appealing in practice because of its high floor, right? Whereas capitalism is appealing
Because it's high ceiling.
because of its a limited ceiling, right? So if you're a person who views the world through, I just need my needs met and I don't care about anything else, socialism is very, very appealing to you. And I'll admit, it becomes even though it's a false equivalency, it is a very, very difficult thing to see a block full of people who can't afford to have their children go to a dentist when one person can be on a $400 million yacht that they use 3 or 4 times a year. So that sort of massive wealth inequity becomes very, very, very hard to defend, right? Especially if it's generational, where you're not somebody that has innovated, has added massive value to society. You just came out of the balls of somebody that did. Right. And so that becomes a very, very difficult thing. But the true capitalist, the Milton Friedman, would say, well, then your job is to then figure out a way to take those resources from that person by offering goods and services to that person. They have the wealth. They still need things.
Sure.
You could either become LeBron James, be the best in the world at what you want to do, and you'll get paid handsomely for it. You could be the best tic-tac-toe player in the world, and you will make a sizable income from it.
Just go corners, man. It's really easy.
But if you're not in the 1% of what you want to do, this is where Gen Z is having a real problem. And really the millennials, our generation, had a problem with it too. And, as so eloquently put in Fight Club, Chuck Palahniuk, our generation's realizing we're not going to be rock stars and movie stars, and we're real pissed off. And that's kind of the idea of, just because I can't be what I want doesn't mean I should have to serve the people that do. That's the revolutionary spirit that fires socialism and communism. Just because LeBron James was born 6'8" and I wasn't, doesn't mean I should have to be his fucking plumber, right? And that's what fires that up. I personally don't like socialism because it always inexorably devolves into tyranny, right? Like on its surface, anybody that reads the Communist Manifesto, you'll be like, all right, sure, let's just fucking share. Let's pool tips, right? Everybody's ever worked at a restaurant or a bar. We're just pooling tips. It works until there's that one person or that other person that doesn't work as hard as everybody else. And then you're like sitting here, you're pulling the extra shifts, you're showing up on time, they're fucking late, they're dirty, they fucking leave early, they don't do their side work, but they get an even split. No, fuck that. And all it takes is for one person to be like that, for everybody else to be like, well, I'm not doing my side work. Well, I'm not showing up on time. Well, I'm not. And it falls apart so quickly. So that what ends up happening is then they always, the authorities do what authority always does, and they drop the hammer. And they say, you show up on time or you're going to get fired, or we're going to dock your pay, or whatever. And in a society perspective, what that is at a gunpoint, you're going to farm. I don't want to farm. I get paid the same as if I want to be a stockbroker. No, you're not good at stockbroker. I don't care. I can make the same money. I want to be inside where it's warm. No, you're a farmer, kulak. You know, I don't want to farm. They throw you in chains, and they put you on the farm. Who without profit incentive, who's the janitor? Who cleans up the mess? It's one big party until you got to clean it up. Whereas in capitalism, hey man, we got a huge mess here. I don't want to clean it up. Do you want to clean it up? No. I'll give you $30 if you clean it up. All right, fuck it, I'll clean it up. There's profit incentive. I can make that decision because then that money's worth something to me. And beyond that, if I don't like it, if I don't like you or your product, you talk about ethical investing all the time. If I can't stand what you stand for, I do not have to purchase your product. There's a massive amount of freedom in that. Imagine what life would be like for us here in America, especially after what we just lived through with the COVID lockdowns. If you had to consume what these people gave you, if you had to consume, if your toothpaste was now made by Moderna, and hey, you didn't want the shot, who cares? Moderna makes your toothpaste and your hair gel, and they fry your chicken, and and if you don't like it, starve. That's the difference, right? So is capitalism perfect? Absolutely not. I think Milton Friedman had a great quote where capitalism is horrible, but it's the best of the worst situations that we have.
It's the best you got.
And there ends my filibuster.
Anything on that video, Candice?
Nope.
All right, well, cool.
Wait. Hold on, wait. What? I do want to ask one question.
I thought your filibuster ended, but
I have a question. I have a question.
Cool.
Why do you think women, particularly educated women in college, overwhelmingly favor socialism to capitalism? The numbers bear it out, almost 70%.
Prefer socialism?
Yes, especially in college right now. 70% of college-age females prefer socialism to capitalism. Why do you think that is?
Probably because they're more emotional and they see people that are hurting or in need, or that, that word equity is thrown around. So people that they think maybe had a different starting point and they just want it to be fair. I think women can sometimes get lost in your emotions. So rather than say, well, this is a meritocracy, or rather than say you have to accept that, equity it's not really a thing. Look at nature. There's no...
Look at the stars. Yeah, absolutely.
There's no equal anywhere, really, right? We're all born different abilities, different motivating factors, different amounts of effort that we put forward. There's so many ways to explain why we're not all Jeff Bezos. So,
well, yeah, and just to be clear, equity is not equality. They've pulled the old switcheroo on everybody because the words sound the same. Mm-hmm. They achieved equality years ago, and now they've moved on to equity, which is for all intents and purposes, it's special treatment. Mm-hmm. We had it bad for so long that now I deserve it good, more gooder than anybody else.
Would you agree though that it's emotions that are driving women to more socialism?
People need to figure this out. We need to figure it out because the women that are active, the women that are specifically politically active, they're getting on board with some very, very extreme ideologies, and I don't think that they're intending to. And I'm wondering why that is.
Well, they don't vote, right?
Well, they vote in a huge block. Suburban housewives are the most important.
Well, you
voting
said
block
college.
Yeah,
college.
But
girls.
those girls end up being the.
I mean, I've changed so many opinions from when I was in college, and I wasn't voting in college. I took a women's studies course, and they show you these videos where you think the world is this bad, ugly place, and no one cares about anyone else, and if you're different, you're gonna get stoned, and I remember leaving class one day and just sobbing because they showed us this documentary, and it was this I think it was like this gay boy, and he'd gotten murdered in the South for being gay, and then you get swept up.
Is it Matthew Shepard?
I don't know. It was so long ago. You get swept up, so you don't ask questions. You're like, oh, I feel this way, so it must be true, and then we have to fix this. And I think that can be a trap.
It's the fix it mentality. We have to fix it.
We love to fix you guys. We love to fix everything. We need to nurture, take care of.
You might be onto something there. It's this intense desire to fix it, and you don't believe that things will work themselves out in the end. Like laissez-faire is not, like, the invisible hand doesn't exist. Interesting. As you were saying.
I was saying, speaking of gay boy, we have our own gay vegan in the house. And we're going to learn a little bit about veganism.
I think one of the most absurd positions anyone can take is they're a vegan for an ethical reason. It's preposterous. To do it from an ethical reason is absurd. And the reason I say that is I have plowed a field. It is carnage. It is 12 feet of carnage. And every single plant that you eat is going to be tilled into the ground in some capacity. So you're going to kill everything.
Ted Nugent has said this on this podcast. He said, if you want to kill the most things, become a vegan. But if you think that all life is sacred, well, what about the lives of the ground nesting birds, fawns? What about the lives of rodents, insects? All those things are getting demolished.
The average organic avocado farm in Central California is going to kill, on average, around 19,000 ground squirrels a year.
So I think I'm actually going to throw it to Christian first. What do you guys think?
I yield the floor,
Defend
Christian.
yourself, you murderer.
I mean, I agree. I don't disagree with what he's saying. I mean, farming is definitely killing a lot of animals, but you know what kills more animals than farming plants is farming actual animals, in my opinion. So,
but it's not.
What do you mean?
It's not killing more animals.
It is, because you have to grow more crops to feed the animals.
A lot of what you're feeding the animals is a byproduct of other products. So, for example, you're going to give the leftovers from beer to cows or to pigs. So you're not really growing anything. You're actually getting rid of a lot of waste. It's like upcycling.
Okay.
Why are you a vegan, Christian?
You
just want to look svelte?
No, I would say ethical. I mean, obviously you can't get away with not killing anything, but I would rather not eat something that, factory farming. Now, I understand, like, hunting. I'm all for that. I think that's totally fine. But I don't want to eat something that was, like, tortured and murdered brutally, That's kind of my thing.
Unpopular opinion. Yeah, vegan. I don't give a shit.
No, wait, time out. What's torture, though? What animals
just kept
torture?
in terrible conditions.
Right.
You've seen videos. We've all seen videos. So
You're talking about like those massive like chicken coops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think the chicken has feelings? Do you think the chicken cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's the performative nature of these people that like turns you off to it, right? But
I heard chickens are dickheads.
Chickens are dicks?
Roosters are.
Roosters are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
they're
that's
like
their
little
job.
angry feathered dinosaurs.
Little raptors.
Almost reptilian.
Yeah. Be vegan. More power to you, man. But
more meat for you.
Yeah, exactly. But don't be like the WEF and say
Don't be taking that shit away.
Nobody's eating red meat anymore. You're eating bugs, right? Like, I mean, that's a pretty clear line of demarcation there, right?
There's this really cool Zen fable, and it's about a Zen saint, and he's a butcher. And with a lot of Buddhism, meat's usually off of the table. Like, you don't usually eat meat if you're a practicing Buddhist. Some people do. But this man shows up to the butcher, and he is enthralled. He's like, how are you a saint? You're killing all of these animals. And the butcher says, well, I've never said to be a saint, but you're more than welcome to stay here and watch me practice my butchering. And he's asking him questions, and he's like, well, my father was a butcher, my grandfather was a butcher, and he's explaining that it was almost a duty of his to become a butcher because and has been passed down to him with how to do it with respect for and love for the animal. And no matter what, it has to be done. So if it's not going to be him, the person that takes his place is not going to do it with love and kindness. So it is almost his gift and his duty to show up to the thing that he does not want to do, because he's the only one that can do it with love. And I always thought that was interesting. And there's this, I don't know if he's still operating, but he's a Zen butcher farmer, and he takes every single animal and he does it start to finish. So he, he raises them, he butchers them, like slaughters them himself, butchers them himself, and it's all done in this very spiritual way to where you're honoring, kind of like an avatar, after they do the kill, they say thank you. And I think that's also why it's so important to say grace before you eat, or do some kind of prayer before you eat. It's like, I understand the sacrifice for this meal, and I appreciate it. So I agree 100% with factory farming is disgusting, and I wish it was illegal, because I do think that these creatures have consciousness. I don't know what level, but they have self-awareness. Crows know, like, they have a sense of I and a sense of time, what we think, which is crazy. We have parrots that are naming their babies. We have whales with different dialects.
On purpose? Is that like
it's good luck.
kind of no, but
it's good luck.
I think sometimes the birds are like,
fuck you.
Let me do this.
It's the bird lobby. The bird lobby wants you to believe it's good luck. Big bird. Don't live.
Speaking of factory farming, I heard you should not eat tilapia.
Oh, yuck. No.
Why?
It's a garbage fish.
What do you mean?
It's just, first of all, it's farm raised, so they're throwing in antibiotics and pesticides, because they're like covered with parasites in these overcrowded tanks, and then they're eating all of the garbage and the poo at the bottom.
Yeah, they often put those crowded chicken coops like above them, and they're eating chicken shit
the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't eat tilapia. You're better than that.
I don't eat any tilapia.
Christian, could you eat a plant that eats meat? Like, could you eat a Venus flytrap?
You're trying to trick me into.
I'm just wondering. I don't,
Well, and then there's also discoveries that plants have consciousness as well. Like, this is a conversation in science right now that is very alive. So that there is a consciousness, especially with something like mycelium, for example. Like, that's a very intelligent network, and they communicate. Trees communicate with each other with a whole network of roots underneath, and they'll show preference when it comes to allocating resources, because they share water underneath the ground. They prefer their seedlings to other trees, so they are aware of their lineage. So, I mean, it's really interesting. They can predict where the light is going to be in a room. You guys can look up these
You gotta
studies.
kill something at the end of the day.
No, I know, but that's why I'm saying if it comes down to like being ethical and conscientiousness and consciousness, if we know, like, let's say in some weird world that mycelium is actually one of the most intelligent living things on the earth, maybe even put it past ourselves, past whales, past whatever, would you not eat mushrooms?
Probably not. I don't know. That's a great question.
I had some shiitakes yesterday. It was so damn good, though, boy. So
Shout
good.
out Rocco.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I contemplated like all different types of eating. I want to eat what's the best for me, for my performance, for my body, stuff like that. I think everybody's different. There's books on different blood types, but I don't know if it's necessarily the blood type thing. I think it's just what your ancestors ate and what your body responds to. I think if you feel better eating vegan stuff, great. I don't think I do. I find like, and also just what in my brain, what makes sense is like, if you're eating like a good source of meat, like a grass-fed meat or bison or like some sort of active, strong animal, you're going to get more nutrients. There's like more in it for you. You know what I mean? You got to eat a lot of, I know if you eat like if I were to eat a lot of vegetables and plants, like my stomach doesn't feel as good. My digestion, like it's not as, it's just not as good. I like to eat a diet of like, first thing I'm thinking of is like healthy protein. Like I love bison. If I could get like, deer or elk or grass-fed beef, something like that. And organs too, but all from good sources like liver, heart, kidney, that stuff's great. Then I want like a good carb, because I'm a performance athlete. I need, what I mean? People who work out a lot, you want a carb can get you, give you like that pop, You know what I mean? Keeps you going, gives you glycogen in your muscles. And then fruit and vegetables. Anything else is probably, you know, is just like for fun if you're eating like candy or sugar or sweets, whatever. But I think if you eat like that, I think you're gonna feel good, and you're gonna perform good too in whatever you're doing.
I just don't understand why people give a shit what other people are eating. Like I don't get the people who are so vehemently anti-vegan, so vehemently carnivore, so vehement. Unless you're like selling something, unless you're trying to like, you know, unless
Well,
you're
I
trying.
think some people, they feel good and then they kind of project that on other people. You know what I mean? While I say that's what I like, I take that with a grain of salt. Maybe Christian feels better eating vegan. Maybe works with his body better.
Tell
And I
some
think
people, man, that, you know, that they're vegan, and immediately what's the first thing? Oh, you gotta get your blood work checked. What do you got low? Where you get your protein from? What's your low iron? Like, it's like, what do you give a shit?
Every
It's
day.
not your body.
Every day of my life.
It's not your body. Who gives? Like, what did the great Sean Carter say? The food I eat don't make you shit. Yeah. You know, like, I don't understand why people care. I really don't. I don't get the fascination with, like. Is it like a pride thing? Is it like, do people think they've got it figured out and then they want to preach the gospel? Like, I mean, I don't get the fascination with it.
I think it's a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that. I think it's a big greater than thou type kind of thing with a lot of vegans. So I try not to do that. I was like that a little bit before, but
You never been like that. You've always been a cool gay vegan.
Thanks, man.
Well, let's look at some cute shit. What do you guys think? You want to look at some cute shit?
Let's do it.
Take us out on some cute shit.
Aw. What's better than a baby's laugh?
Nothing. It's the best thing in the whole world.
Is that a golden?
Yeah.
Goldens, labs. Ay vey.
Yeah. Just like two of the most wholesome, sweet things.
Come on. How great is that? Like the pure love you get from a dog. It's like that. Maybe that's the closest. Maybe that's the closest to a godlike entity I've ever seen. Is the happiness, the pure happiness from a dog when they see it, just like unadulterated, true, unrequited, no strings attached love. Right?
Yeah, dogs are dope.
Oh, the best. Love them. And that baby's laugh is great.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
remember
ovaries are bursting.
My baby sister Kayla, she still has the best laugh. But when she was like little like that, my dad would like tickle her hip and she would die laughing. It was the cutest thing ever. It was like I wanted to make it like my ringtone. Like I just wanted to hear that every day. It was so cute. Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Kids are amazing.
Yeah, but dogs not so much.
I used to be a dog person, and
Once
then
you
I
have
had
kids,
babies.
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Too much mess or what?
Yeah. I mean, but I'm so lucky because mine are really great with my children, so it's not like I have to worry about anything. But yeah, it's just like an extra chore, an extra thing to do. Make sure there's always poop in the yard, and then the baby runs through the poop, and then there's the dog bowls that are always getting thrown. It's like, and then the baby's napping, and then the dog's like, "Ruh, ruh, 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 ruh," and I'm like, I don't want to have another dog ever again.
And having the child really dims the light on the dog.
Yeah.
Like before you have a kid, you're like the dog's like that's my baby. That's my.
Ew.
Then you have a baby, and then it's like that's a dog.
Can't stand that. We were at this dinner and someone was like, "Oh, I kind of understand what it's like to have
I'm
a
a dog
baby
mom?
because I really love my dog." And I'm like, it's that what is it, Tom Segura's bit, and he's like, I will drown my dog and then hand it to my child if it even like looks at my kid sideways, and then I'll have to deal with like my kid screaming as to why you just killed my dog. But like it's no competition. It's no competition. Wouldn't even think about it.
You say that now. We're gonna check back in like 6 years when your kids are at school and you're alone at home.
No,
and you're gonna want a puppy so bad.
I'm gonna be back in my horse phase when the kids get older.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm already itching a little bit.
Really?
When we were downtown and they had the mounted officers, and I'm like, and then my saddle is like always hanging on my rail. One day I'm gonna get back to that.
Oh, so you want a super dog?
A super dog. They're very different.
You want a super dog?
I'd eat some horse meat if anyone has any.
Oh my gosh, no. When I went to Iceland, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the horse and I couldn't do the whale. I had shark. The rotted shark.
The fermented, rotted.
yeah.
Oh,
It's rough.
that looks like the grossest thing. And then you're supposed to take
rough. A shot
like
of
200
schnapps
proof.
after.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, probably so you don't die because it's
Yeah,
rotted
right.
or
Yeah.
it's poisoned. I don't know. They say I guess the poison leaves the shark after it ferments. I don't know. You had to do it.
What do they taste like?
Spoiled, like you
Oh.
ate something spoiled, like just
Gross.
like funky, foul, awful. But
Big one
when
for
in
the vegans
Rome,
there.
when in Rome,
Yeah, when in Rome.
He's got a picture of Overeem up there. Said he got that body, that physique from eating horse meat.
That has
Definitely
to be
not,
AI.
Definitely not steroids.
That has to be AI.
Are you kidding me?
Is that what he
That's-
actually looked like?
That's Overeem, bro.
Jesus Christ.
That's Ubereem.
That's Ubereem.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. So that guy tested positive. No way. That's strange. You just never know anymore, guys. You just never know.
it's like all
He's
of
got He's got the body fat of this pen right here. And just jacked to the gills, man.
It's like people don't realize that we know that they're lying though. And you look like that, or the women that have now like the hollowed out face because they're all on Ozempic, and they're like, I just started working out and doing yoga. You're like, you are such a liar. You have no fat left in your face.
Mm-hmm.
It's
At least it's Ozempic, man.
What's
The
Ozempic?
buccal.
Semaglutide, it like makes you not eat.
Yeah. The buccal fat removal thing is really bad.
Buccal fat.
Buccal fat, it's buccal fat?
I've heard it called buccal fat.
I would think I don't know. I've been saying
I don't
buccal.
know.
But yeah, that one's rough.
Why would you do that?
Did you see the girl Starlight from The Boys?
I saw a
What about it?
compilation of young actresses that have allegedly done it, and they ruined their face.
Oh my god, dude! Like the beautiful women getting the
They look
same
like they're
plastic
so
surgery.
old.
Like it's
What is it?
she
Can
looks
you
like
pull
a
up a
red
pic?
skull.
Buccal light?
Yeah,
Buccal fat.
BUCAL
They're
surgery.
Pulling fat out of their face?
It's the cheek fat.
Right here.
So they're pulling the fat out of here
To get
so that-
cheekbones.
Oh, to get big cheekbones?
Yeah, but it
Oh, yeah.
that's not
she
even the
looks
worst.
aged
That's not
than
the
men.
worst. That's
That's sad.
8 or 9 surgeries ago. That's nowhere
man.
close. Yeah, it's gotten there. It is. Look at this.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Poor girl.
yeah. She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's almost like are there 3 plastic surgeons in LA? It's like everybody wants the same face. It's like, or I'll have the A, the B, or the C. I'll either have the Kim Kardashian or I'll have the. I don't get it. Why?
Name
I
2
don't.
more celebrities.
Yeah, right. That have like
I wonder
that
who
have this that have like their own line. They have their
Bella
own like.
Hadid, I think, was one of the first ones that they speculated got the buccal fat.
Really?
I think can you pull up a pic, Christian? A
Buccal fat.
Bella Hadid buccal fat.
Well,
removal.
Emily Ratajkowski is like one of the most beautiful women, and she had it, and
She got it
worked or
done?
didn't work for
yeah,
her?
dude,
I didn't know that.
not good.
Recently?
It's all speculation. Nobody knows, but
Yeah, she is beautiful.
this is just a reminder, people. That, again, this is
Looks like a
the
robot
most
now.
this is the most pro socialism episode we will ever do. You're not ugly, people. You're just poor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. BUCAL surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 2 C's.
It's 2 C's?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So I think when they first get it done, it might look like really good in the moment,
No,
right?
look at that.
But then over time, it doesn't grow back, and your body just like your face starts looking like it caved in.
And what happens when you get to be 60, 70? Like, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
tough.
gonna be scary.
Yeah.
And there's like something that's lost with aging gracefully. No one does that anymore or wants to do it. It's we're gonna pretend that we can like crystallize at 26. And even for some of these women that have work done that you can't technically tell, they don't have a single wrinkle or like no expression whatsoever, you still know that they're not in their 20s.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like you know that it's not real.
But the hormone therapy seems to be better than the surgery. Like seems like the people that you talked about J-Lo before, Jennifer Aniston. The speculation is that they're microdosing testosterone and they're taking human growth hormone, and they seem to be aging better and more appropriately. They're working, heavy. A lot of lifting. Muscle density appears to be a big anti-aging thing.
Well, Jen Aniston went way crazy on the filler for season 2 or the most recent season.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, it ended up going down.
Season of what? What's she in?
What is it called? It's the news show that she does.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Morning show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the first few episodes. So I don't know if she like just got it and it didn't settle or something, but she was so puffy.
She's one of the people you think about, her and like J-Lo, the people who like really kept it together.
J-Lo has the best
Sofia
work.
Vergara's a great one.
J-Lo she's winning by a long shot.
So all these people who aren't having work done, they're having work done?
Oh, everyone's having work
Everyone's
done.
having work done?
Everybody.
How does the Botox thing work? I'm getting some crows
So this
here,
is
man.
the funny thing. So with the Botox, men see a puffy face and like, stop with the Botox. I'm like, that's not Botox. That's filler. Those are two totally different
things, people.
So Botox is going to stop movement. It paralyzes your muscle wherever you put it. And then a filler is some kind of artificial filler that they put in. And now they're realizing that it can stay in your skin for over 10 years. And they thought it lasted 6 to 12 months. But they're doing these fMRIs and it's showing that this filler is migrating. It's staying. It's not being broken down.
You can see it. Like people are like, they get like they're puffy. They almost kind of look like jigsaw.
Yeah, and then it'll start to move down and it'll actually like start dragging your face. So these like really young women like in their 20s that get it done because they want whatever look that they're trying to achieve don't realize that it has the potential to still be there in your late 30s and it might not be where you put it. And then to get it out, you'd have to suck it out.
Wow. Does anybody still do facelifts? That used to be a big thing way back in the day.
Yeah, they're still doing those.
Facelift? You know what they do with a facelift?
It's called facial rejuvenation now.
Now, do they like tighten your skin or something?
Bro, they like...
No, they cut here and then they'll
they
pull it
tight?
back and they'll stitch it behind your ear.
Yeah, so they're like
They just
tightening your skin.
Yeah, well, they're like folding your skin,
Yeah.
your face behind it.
I've seen some good ones.
Yeah?
I have.
Really?
Yeah. I can't say, but I've seen some good ones.
Man, you gotta really not like the way you look to be like, pull my shit and fold it back.
I guess it's not supposed to be that bad of a surgery.
Really?
Yeah. It's minimal, allegedly.
Well, that baby sure was cute.
That baby was adorable.
All right, let's take this thing out of here.
All right, guys, it's been Cancel Weekly. That's the truth, Gerard Michaels. That's the great one, Candice Horbatch. I'm Mickey frickin' Gall. Love you guys. Big kiss.